It's not stopping at that bit where I wanted to stop. Okay, so yeah, this is the reference picture. And I'm using a Fabriano, I'll show you my sketch pad. Fabriano sketch pad. I've been doing lots of testing on the cover, as you can see. I just have to work out how to get my iPad sitting up. And I'll get the reference picture around the right way. And yeah, for today I thought I would use these paint pens. I got them a while back. They're Pilot Pintor and they come in a whole bunch of pastel colours. But I'm not sure how well they'll work on account of they just scratch up the paper a lot. So if they're not working, I've got some other materials as backup. I've got these paint sticks, pencils, and some woodies somewhere. Oh yeah, I've got my light clipped onto the woody tin. Yeah. So I'm going to get started with sketching this. One of the problems I've been finding with scenes like this when I was in Korea, happened a few times, like these really complicated scenes where there's so much interconnected stuff happening. It's really hard to just know where to start, to find your starting point. So when I was there on location, I actually started from the bottom and worked up, but I didn't like doing that. So today I'm just going to start slap bang in the middle, and hopefully it will all come together. I mean, I guess one of the things is you don't have to do something like this accurately. You don't have to do exactly as it is in the photo. Just to get the general feel. Yeah, see, I'm not sure about these paint pens. They're a bit scratchy, but I'll start working with them and just put in the basic shapes and see how I go. Starting off with this pink house here, slap bang in the middle. Yeah, I kind of found starting from the bottom not satisfying. And it really is a scene with a lot going on. So if you're watching, let me know that you're there and maybe tell me where you're watching from, like what country. I find it hard because when I do live streams, I sort of have to do them in my time zone. I'm in Australia, and that's not a very convenient time for people other places in the world. But if I do them sort of later at night or anything like that, I don't have daylight. And that makes it really hard. Like, you know, lighting's very important, of course. And we have these stupid downlights. Although not stupid, but it's just the whole of the lounge room living area has downlights, and they are, well, they cast just really weird shadows over everything. That's the main issue. And so yeah, makes it incredibly difficult if you want to film art when it's not daylight. So yeah, I think I've started this too big. I'm not going to be able to fit many other the little houses in. But let's go. Now this blue line's in there, so I'll just put the lines of that in so that you can see where it goes compared to the other building. So yeah, I've been back from Korea for, when did I get back? On the 10th. So it's been a couple of weeks I've been home, and it's been really nice to be home. The weather hasn't been nice, but it's nice sleeping in my own bed. The bed I had in my Airbnb in Seoul was the hardest bed I've ever slept on in my life. Like, I know in Asia you get really hard beds, preference for hard beds, but this one was just next level hard. Like, kind of felt like my bones were being ground to dust when I was sleeping. So yeah, it's always nice to be back to your own bed. And I thought today I'd talk a bit about travel and how to travel cheaply. Well, I wouldn't say I travel cheaply. I'd say mid-budget travel. Yeah, I'm not the sort of person who goes and stays at backpackers and sleeps in a dorm. The whole thought of sleeping in a room with other people just seems just no, it's not something I could do. Just the sound of other people sleeping in the same room as me. Oh, no way. But yeah, I do try and cut down on costs as much as possible, and it makes more travel possible. And one of the things I think really helps me travel cheaper, is that I can be pretty flexible with my time. I work for myself, so I can, if I want to take off on a holiday tomorrow, I could. Well, I couldn't. I could normally, but I'm working on a deadline at the moment, so I don't think that I'll be taking off anytime soon. But, just having that flexibility, you see a cheap airfare advertised, and it's, yeah, like, okay, let's do this. And yeah, I know that's not possible for a lot of people. I think especially if you live somewhere like the US where you have very limited holiday time. Yeah, it makes it really hard. I just can't even imagine only having 2 weeks holiday a year. And this orange pen isn't working very well, but so yeah, and I think sorry, I'm having trouble talking while trying to get this pen activated. Yeah, one of the things I think helps with saving money is, like, I see all these tips to use sites like Skyscanner or whatever site, these aggregate travel sites. But I find the best thing, what works best for me, I'm on a lot of mailing lists for airlines. Like, if I want to go somewhere and I know an airline flies there, I'll sign up to their mailing list. Then you find out about any deals I've got on, any like when flights go on sale, you find out first, and then you can just snap up those cheaper flights. And I usually fly budget airlines. I know some people are like, ooh, I hate budget airlines, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I don't. Well, to be honest, yeah, I complain. I complain a lot, but I still do it. Like, from Australia, the main budget airline is Jetstar. They often have cheap deals, and I'll fly with them, and then straight afterwards I'll be like, I'm never flying with Jetstar again, I hate them, they're the worst airline in the world. And then, like, 6 months later, they'll be advertising cheap flights somewhere, and I'll be like, they're not that bad, really. But yeah, I mean, you get what you pay for, often, sometimes. I mean, I did fly with British Airlines to London once, and that was a pretty crappy flight. They wouldn't even give me a snack on the flight. I'd been running around all day and had a late night flight and didn't have time to actually eat a lot during the day. And I got on the plane and they gave us dinner. It was this really, really tiny little dinner, not even a meal. So afterwards, I was like, oh, I'm still starving. And so I went and asked for some food. Like normally when you're on a non-budget airline, you go and ask, they'll have like a whole bag of snacks, like help yourself. No, British Airways, they were like, no, we don't do snacks anymore, sorry. And so I was sitting there the whole flight. I was hangry. I was the hungriest passenger ever. And yeah, so you don't always get a better deal just because you're on an expensive flight. This is a bit where I'm starting to get all like, where are these lines going? What bits are connected here? And notice how I start off with a paint pen doing the solid shapes, and then 5 minutes later, or less than 5 minutes later, I'm in with the pencil. It's always so much easier just to draw the lines with pencil. Let's have that building going all the way up there. And then over here we've got some steps leading down. So yeah, one of my big travel tips is that just sign up to the airline's newsletters, find out when they've got the deals happening, and you can save a bit of money doing that. Then when it comes to accommodation, I know a lot of people are very anti-Airbnb nowadays, but I do find it the most convenient way to travel. I think that, I mean, again, this is because I have the flexibility. If you're going somewhere for a week, you may as well go for a month. I don't think there's much difference in the expense, because when you're going for a longer time, you're getting often cheaper accommodation, cheaper deals, and then you can, like, the cost of staying in a hotel for a week is probably the same as staying in an apartment for a month. That's what I'm trying to say. And that makes it, yeah, much easier to travel cheaply for a longer time. It also means you can have a bit of time out. Like if you're staying somewhere for a month and you want to have a day off and just hang out without, you know, doing too much, it's okay. Whereas if you're somewhere for a few days on a very tight itinerary, you're like, oh, I've got to do stuff every day. Just go, go, go. This paint stick is slippery. These paint sticks are a lot easier to use than the acrylic markers. Acrylic markers, they always seem like, oh, well, paint markers, a bit of work to, you know, just lay the colour down. The only trouble with these is accuracy. So yeah, we've got that down. And I don't have the full range of colours in these paint markers. I thought I had a blue, but I'm not sure where that is. But I've got this yellow in here. I don't know whether I've mentioned this before, but yeah, as far as travel goes, before the pandemic, up to about 6 months before the pandemic, I was a digital nomad and would travel quite a bit. Probably for about 5 years, 6 years of that. And yeah, spent a lot of time in Europe and around Asia. Never went to America, but yeah, a lot of Asia and a lot of Europe. And so yeah, the longer term, staying somewhere, I'll quite often stay somewhere for about 3 months. 3 months seems like a good amount of time. I get this little top bit in. And it's still coming up sideways. I am so sorry about this. I'm just going to move my camera around. And I'm just trying to work out what exactly is going on in this picture. Which is, there's a lot of balconies. Yeah, there's a little drama. Yeah. So yeah, I think one of the things that I learned when I was digital nomading is to sort of mix up kind of places I go to. Like if you want to go to somewhere expensive, like Tokyo is a very expensive city. But then maybe spending some time somewhere like Thailand or Malaysia that's a lot cheaper. So you sort of get that balance of cheap and not so cheap travel. Also, yeah, like when you're staying somewhere like Tokyo, it's kind of good to, if you're staying longer term, you can stay somewhere a bit less central, and that saves a whole swag of money. But yeah, if you're like there for 2 weeks, 1 week, and it's your trip of a lifetime, you probably don't want to be yeah, doing all those long commutes, spending an hour every day in and out with the city, trying to get to where you want to go. But yeah, it also works out in the end, I guess. Like if you're staying longer, you probably have less time to do things. Where am I going with this thought? I am going to say, I'm actually trying to find a pencil in a certain colour, and it's a bit hard because I need to start putting all my pencils upside down, I think, instead of like point side up, so that I can find them better in my tin. And then we've got this happening. What's happening there? That's pink. Yeah, so what I was saying, what I'm trying to say is if you're staying somewhere for a month, just say a month or 2 months, 3 months, it does work out cheaper, but you're probably going to see as much and do as much in a week. Because, well, when I was traveling, yeah, because I was working as well, it wasn't like I could go out every day and go sightseeing or go and do like fun activities every day. Like some days I just have to stay at home and work. Like that's where the money's coming from. I might get out for an hour or so in the afternoon, or you know, go out and grab a coffee or something, but it's not the same as having your whole day free to just wander around and do some sightseeing, and just being a traveler like that. Okay. This building is very, like, I feel like I'm doing the perspective wrong, but I think it's actually the building. The building has weird perspective. The only dark paint marker I've got is this one, and it's not working very well. I might actually swap it out. There is a dark grey. I really don't like how this is getting all scratchy there and doing weird things. Yeah, that grey is much better for doing windows. How's that? Grey is so much better. Okay, I'm just going to pop away for a moment. I will be back very shortly. Okay, I'm back, and I've realised this is still upside. I don't know how to get this so it's not upside down. I am so sorry about this. If you're on your phone, I guess it's okay. You can turn your phone around, but yeah, if you're like me and watch all your YouTube stuff on the TV, it's not so easy. You can't really turn your TV around. I'm actually going to try and put the camera over the other side. I think next time I do a live stream, I might get one of those programs that you do the live stream through instead of doing it directly on my camera, because this is incredibly frustrating. I can see my cardigan there. Okay, let's see how that works. It's me, hi me. And let's get back into the sketching now. So yeah, I was filling in the windows with this grey. I feel like I probably messed up the windows, made them too long and thin. If you've watched my Busan video, you probably know that I was pretty sick when I was there. It wasn't, yeah, very, very low energy and very, very sick. So I went to the Culture Village and I really wanted to go there. And so I just got off the train and jumped straight in a cab and went to a cafe where I could sort of sit and sketch and get a really awesome view of everything around. And that was really nice because there's no way I could have walked around all the hills and all the, yeah, it's a very hilly area, so walking around would have been just very difficult. And I feel like I've got the perspective on this so everywhere. But I guess the main thing is I've got the cute little houses in there. And again, this pinky. It was really nice though, even just actually I think it was nicer going to the cafe than spending a lot of time walking around because there's so many tourists around and it was very crowded. I mean, this was a Monday morning when I was there and it was crowded, so oh, I just can't even imagine what it'd be like on a weekend. And everyone taking selfies. And I mean, I guess I do it too. I'm walking around filming, but I always complain about everyone else doing it because I guess, yeah, it's more annoying when other people do it than when I do it. That is not the pencil I wanted. I really find it hard to read the colour names on the Caran d'Ache pencils. I guess because it's written so small and sort of around the pencil. So I'm quite often pulling out the wrong one. Just do all this stuff. I'm assuming these are kimchi. Those things you make kimchi in or something. Or maybe water barrels. I have no idea. All the steps in here. So if you are watching or you're watching this on the replay, tell me where you've travelled to recently. I'm always looking for travel suggestions and it'd be really interesting to know where other people are travelling to. My goal for the rest of the year, I really want to go to New York. That is my big goal. Now it's just a question of getting the money to go. It's not a cheap city at all. I'm not sure what I'm doing with this thing on top of here. Oh, that does not look right. That really doesn't look right. Oh, sorry guys. I tried to make it look... No. I'm just going to colour the whole thing in. Let's get rid of that. Oh. Okay, that's a bit better. This grey is so much nicer to work with than that blue. I find with acrylic markers, the really thin ones are very difficult to work with. Like, I don't know if it's just my drawing style doesn't mesh with them very well or what, but yeah, too scratchy and hard to work with. Okay. That's still weird. I'm gonna try moving my camera again. I'm really sorry that I'm having all these camera issues. I'll definitely look into some other ways of doing this for the next live stream. And this pen is not working. Oh no. I'll go with the blue instead. This is why acrylic paint pens made it onto my art materials I regret buying list. Yep, you deserve it, guys, because you are jerks sometimes. Okay. Sort of getting a bit lost in the details here. So I might start going. Finish this pink building and then I can start working up. And then maybe go back into this bottom bit and add all the little details. Just going to go with that paint sticks. The paint sticks really do give awesome coverage. It does feel a bit like, yeah, painting with lipstick though. So we'll put that over there. Now what have we got going on here? Got this roof coming here. Behind this pink building. And I need half the yellow. I don't often use pastel colours when I'm drawing. Not really into the pastels, but that's kind of fun to use them occasionally for something like this. This yellow building is really hard to sort of, it's got this bit and it's coming like this, okay, and it's got a bit going out there, this bit here, window here. And that side of the building's just all blank. But I might put a window in it just to make it look a bit cuter. Probably should have waited for the yellow to dry before going over it, but let's put another little one in it. And then this comes down and does that. Sometimes it's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle when you're doing a scene like this, like, oh yeah, this bit goes here, this bit goes here. Can be yeah, just a real brain exercise trying to work out how it all fits together. I'm just adding some bits of colour down here. These paint markers are awesome. If you haven't seen my video where I got these, I think that was April vlog. I got these, they're kids art supplies and they cost like $5 for a pack of 5 or 6 colours. I got the pastel ones and the some that ended up being metallic, and I don't really like metallic colours, but yeah, for the price, such a bargain. And they're really nice. I thought they would be like, you know, really smudgy, like you put them down and when they're wet they're a little bit smudgy, but they actually set quite solid, which is a good thing. Okay, let's get up and get this building here done. These roofs, man. Oh. Can't even imagine what it would be like to live somewhere like this. Like, oh, just be the irate neighbour. Hey, you tourists, stop taking photos of my house. I'm trying to sleep in here. That'd be me. Because yeah, a lot of people do live in these houses there. It's not a tourist attraction, it's an actual, well, not just a tourist attraction, like it is an actual residential area, and then you have all these hundreds, thousands of tourists wandering around taking photos. They have signs up, like things up saying, like just reminding you that people do live there and to be aware of their privacy, like don't go sticking your camera inside people's homes and taking photos or anything like that. But you know, there's always tourists who ignore that, and wouldn't want to be sitting around in your lounge room with the curtains open just after you got out the shower or anything like that, or you might end up on someone's Insta feed. Though that might actually discourage people from taking photos so much. On the other hand, though, they do benefit from the tourists. I mean, the locals, the residents, like, there are also signs up saying to buy a map of the area. They like pretty much have to buy a map to get around, and all the proceeds from that go to the people who live there. So I guess it's not all completely bad. That's getting a bit messy, but okay. What am I doing? I'm colouring that in. I'll come back when that's dried a bit more and add some more stuff to it. Now we're getting to the blue. If you are sketching along today, make sure you tag me if you post pictures on Instagram or anywhere. On Instagram, I'm WonderCatIllo, WonderCatIllo, which I'm not going to bother trying to spell out now. It's in my bio. So yeah, tag me and I'll add you to my stories and yeah, all that will be really great to see any work anyone's done from this session. Always love seeing how people interpret things differently. We all have our own styles and ways of seeing the world, so it's, yeah, that's what makes us us, I guess, our own unique vision. Slapping in this blue. And just loading. And now this orange pen was the one that didn't work, so I will not use that. Keep thinking I've screwed up the perspective in this picture, but I actually feel a lot of it is the actual perspective is pretty screwy. I'm just looking at these houses and how they're like combining with each other. And it's like, that one's going that way. Yeah, it makes it really difficult to make your drawing look like you know what you're doing when the actual perspective on the houses is weird. And yeah, I took a million photos. I went to cafe, as I said, and I was sitting in the cafe sketching, and then I got up to the rooftop, so I went up to the rooftop and did more sketching up there. There was a couple, I think, wanting to, you know, take some romantic photos and be all like there's basically just me and a couple, and yeah, they were trying to be a bit, oh, let's take romantic photos, let's have a romantic moment, and I was sort of feeling very third wheel, so I just quickly took some photos and left. It can be a bit hard when you're in a situation like that, but one thing I have to always remind myself of when I'm traveling, especially with solo travel, is, you know, just because you're a solo traveler, you've got as much right to be somewhere as anyone else. I mean, just because someone wants to have a romantic moment, take some romantic photos. I'm saying that like I think that they wanted to, you know, get it on or something, but I think it was just, yeah, like wanting to take some coupley photos and have a bit of private time. Again, not like that. But yeah, you can sort of feel a bit, ooh, this is weird. But yeah, Especially when you're sketching, I think. Like, I always feel like, oh, I shouldn't be sitting at a table in this cafe sketching, you know, whatever. But then what's the difference between sitting somewhere sketching or, you know, reading a book or mucking around on your phone or doing anything else? I mean, I've always had this fear that someone's going to come over and say, stop sketching, you're not allowed to sketch here. This is no sketching allowed. But I can't imagine that anyone would actually do that. Yeah, with the couples thing, it didn't happen this trip to Seoul, but I went to Seoul quite a few years ago now. And I went up to Seoul Tower to take some photos. And that was just really, yeah, everyone was romantic coupling it. And I sort of went off to a few areas out of the main bit because I wanted to take some photos that weren't just your standard tourist photos. And then, yeah, everywhere I went, it was just couples. And it was kind of like, oh, I feel like such a creep. Like all these couples trying to get away from the crowd to sort of get all coupley and stuff. And then I'm there wandering around trying to take photos. Okay, one thing I really want to do is these circles here. Then this comes. That's really bright green up there. Some steps in here. Recently, I've been taking part in the three materials challenge on Instagram, and yeah, most of my sketching's been just using three materials. So it's just kind of a bit overwhelming just having the whole of all my art materials. Yeah, I can use what I want. Every color of the rainbow. Every material. I can use pencils, crayons. I can use everything. I want to get this shape in here. Not put too much detail over here on the corner of the page. Is that actually on camera? Yeah, I think it is. I'll try this purpley colour. into this bottom corner here. It's a bit difficult because I've had to move the camera over to here, which I think is actually working better there than anywhere else, thank goodness. But it means that I don't have much room for my hand. Okay, let's just chunk some yellow in here. Then that kind of goes really back. Okay, that's got the main shapes in, and now I'm going to just add a few little details and get the character in there, and I'm really hoping none of this is going to be completely off camera. Yeah, some of this I really need to concentrate on looking and what's going on there, what's happening. It's a lot of wires. Just one of those things you don't notice at first, but yeah, when you're looking, so many wires just all around. Electrical wires. And I think some clotheslines and things as well. being very quiet. Sorry about that. It's not a very interesting live stream and I'm just sitting here not talking. Um, yeah, I'm just sort of working out the final details to put in this picture. My favourite is these stairs here. And white. Yeah, just trying to work out what needs to be finished off. This building here. There's a lot of clotheslines which I would really like to add, but I kind of feel like it would make it too busy. Trying to put clotheslines on these little rooftops and everything, and sometimes you just can't put everything into one sketch. But that's okay because I always do another one. This yellow building here has no windows, but I'm going to put some in. There's some along the bottom here, so okay. This pen's now starting to run a bit dry. Oh, paint markers. This is a lesson to me to never use paint markers again, I think. I mean, the pastel ones are quite nice when they're working. It's just, yeah, really annoying that they keep not working. Very unreliable. Pencil sharpener. Pencil sharpener tin. And something I really want to do, which was the little lines along here. Maybe do some more around these windows. And now I'll just Just sort of adding some shadow in here to show things like that this is a kind of little fence in front of this house. The sunlight's hitting over here. And just getting these final details in. I'm not 100% happy with this. I have to be honest, I am not 100% happy with it, and I think it's mainly because I'm never happy when I work with acrylic paint markers, and maybe a little bit too because I don't like the perspective. I don't like what I've done with the perspective, but I do like the colours. I like how it's sort of, yeah, pretty accurate with the colours. And just going to put some of those wires in to finish it off. I love adding wires. It's so much fun to do. Okay, just gonna always finish, and then it's like, yeah, it's gonna add a little bit here, add a little bit here. I might put some windows down here, adding some stripes here. I mean, I could keep going with this for hours and hours, but I feel, you know, you get to a point where you've got enough information and you don't want to just be fiddling with something for the sake of fiddling with it. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. I will try and get them all sorted out before next time. And just remember, if you did sketch along, to post up on Instagram or wherever you post and tag me, WonderCatIllo. If you don't have social media, just let me know, maybe in the comments to this video. I don't think you can add pictures to the comments, which is a pity, but you can, yeah, just let me know. I would love to see what you've done. And thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. It's pretty miserable here, raining and wet, so I might just sit inside and actually I have to get some writing done. Deadline. And I'll have a new video up shortly. If you're not a subscriber and you would like to see more content like this, but maybe better, more but better, hit that subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed and you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. And otherwise, I will see you in a week's time with my next video. Thank you. Something went wrong. What? Anita, that was just